So I want to share a God moment with y'all. And when I say a God moment, I'm talking about those moments where God just shows you that he is God and we are not, and that he is always at work. He shows up in a situation you just wasn't expecting to happen. He shows up in something you've been praying for, and he just answers that prayer, and he just gives you those God moments where he goes, hey, I'm still on the throne. So we've been starting to have worship on Wednesday night with our youth. We've got some talented singers, talented musicians, and just want to have a time of worship together. And I'm trying to encourage some of them to sing, to get out of their comfort zone. And we've got a young lady that's been leading it every Wednesday night, and she was kind of getting frustrated. You know, everybody kept telling her no to singing. And so I finally said, hey, don't worry about it tonight. I'll take care of it. I'm going to talk about it. And so I prayed about it, and I just got to thinking, and I'm like, as an under shepherd, following the good shepherd, it's my job to lead those students as my role as their youth pastor right now. And I have this thing about leadership is that I would never ask you to do something that I wouldn't do myself. And I can't ask you to get out of your comfort zone if I won't get out of my comfort zone. Now, God called me to preach. I don't feel that he called me to sing. I'm not a singer. So I prayed about it, and, I talked to my lead pastor, and I said, hey, I'm going to sing tonight in the youth. I didn't even tell my wife. I just said, hey, I'm going to sing. And there's a song that I love. It's called More Than Ever by the Gaither Vocal Band. I said, I'm going to sing that tonight, and I'm going to sing it a cappella. And as I was studying and as I was preparing to sing at home before church service that night, I said, God, I just want you to do something with it. That was my prayer. I said, Lord, I'm just trying to be obedient. I'm just trying to lead these kids. God, I just ask that you do something with it. So we get to church, and I get a little mini sermonette before I sing about how we need to get out of our comfort zone. God's given you gifts. You need to use them. He's called you to do those things. We don't just need to sit on our gifts and I'm going to tell you this, you'll never truly see what God has for you if you don't get out of your comfort zone. You can't sit on the sidelines your whole life. You need to get in the game. God brings comfort when we're uncomfortable. We're supposed to get in what we think are some uncomfortable situations. Look at the people in the Bible who just got in uncomfortable situations where God called them out of their comfort zone, and then God did great and mighty things through them. And I stand by that. You will never fully see what God wants to do through you if you do not get out of your comfort zone. So as a Christian, you need to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And I told my youth that. And so I said, I'm going to show you. And I get nervous to preach. I still do. But I really get nervous to sing, especially in front of my kids. And my hands were shaking like this. And I said, so I'm going to lead tonight. I'm going to sing. I'm not going to ask you to do something that I wouldn't do. And so I sang the song. Then we had a lesson. And I wanted to lead by example. We went on about our night. And then at the end of the night, one of our kids we've been praying about, wanting him to go to camp, wanting him to get out of his comfort zone. He's kind of a shy kid, kind of reserved, great kid, but just, you have those. Believe it or not, I was once upon a time a shy kid, and now I'm talking on a camera to social media. And so, but after the service, he came up to me and said, Pastor Drew, is there still room for me to go to camp? I want to go to camp. And y'all, this is a big deal for him. May not seem like much to others, but it's a big deal. I said, absolutely, I'll sign you up tonight. And he told his mama about it, and he's going to go to camp, told his sister. His sister was shocked. And so after the service, we're getting ready to go, and my wife came up to me, and I was like, can you believe he's wanting to go to camp? And she said, yeah. She said, you know why he told me he wanted to go to camp? And I said, why? He said, your lesson about being uncomfortable. And you showing him that you could get out of your comfort zone. And y'all, it just floored me. It was just one of those God moments. And I went out there and I told his mom, I said, hey, he's going to go to camp. And she's like, what did you do? And I said, I just sang. That's all I did. I was trying to be obedient. And now he's going to go to camp. We got him signed up. And then last night we had one of our youth. I've been praying about him teaching, could see it in him, felt like he could do it. Last night he led the youth and he taught last night a wonderful lesson about just being set apart. And man, it was just such a humbling, awesome moment to see God move in that, and God just worked through our faithfulness and give you those God moments. And I said, my prayer before we went to church that night was, God, just do something with it. And he did. And he's still doing stuff with it. And I said all that to say this is a long video. I hope you've stuck around to the end. Just be obedient to what God's calling you to do and get comfortable being uncomfortable. And sometimes you just got to sing. Look at Paul and Silas when they sang in the Philippian jail. And what happened, man? The Philippian jailer got saved. But just be obedient, man. God wants to use you. If you're out there right now and you feel like God's wanting you to do something, but you're so nervous, you're so uncomfortable, just go. Just take the step. Just go. God told Moses, just go to Egypt and let me be God. Just go. Just go to Egypt, man. Just step out and let God be God. He brings comfort. He brings calm. And, man, you'll really get to see what he could do in your life. So just sing. Just preach. Just teach. Just serve. Just do what God's calling you to do. And I just want to share that with you today. It's such an awesome moment. It ain't nothing I've done. I promise you it wasn't by my singing. I'm really surprised they all didn't run out of the room. But I was just trying to be faithful and obedient and just trying to lead like God's called me to lead. He does it all. I'm just trying to serve him. God's good all the time, friends. God bless you and have a great day.